It looks like it's a busy one today. We've got a room full. Happily, we've got our 4-H club, Spurs and Saddles here, and Natalie and Carrie. I'm going to start, Natalie. You've been riding a little longer than just with a 4-H club, haven't you? Well, is that how you started? No, you started before that, I bet.
I started when I was born, pretty much. Yep, my family has always had horses, so I've been riding since I can remember.
Well, and so it was an easy fit for you, and you've got Carrie here helping you, but we've also got quite a few. This is part of your club showed up today?
Yep, we've got a good turnout today. I think we have 100% turnout, actually, so they're excited to tell you all about their horse fair that is coming up this Monday and Tuesday. The horses aren't shown at our normal county fair in August. They're shown earlier because we want to use the pavilion. It's such a nice facility, and the livestock gets that facility during the fair, so we are using that to show the horses in this coming Monday and Tuesday, the 15th and the 16th. And Carrie and I have led this particular 4-H group that's changed a little bit over the years, but this is our 5th year being leaders here. Nice. And Carrie and I actually met in horse 4-H. We didn't go to school together. I went to Tillamook and she went to Neoconi, but we met there showing horses, and we've been friends ever since. So since we have kids that are 4-H age, we decided to become leaders since we were going to be doing it anyway. And here we are.
And I bet both of you have seen some of the ones that you started with, say, 5 years ago, change and the comfort level they have, and we'll be talking to them a little bit about it, too.
Yeah.
Who's our first guest here?
Chloe.
Chloe. Hey, Chloe.
Hi.
I think we've talked before.
Yeah.
What are you riding this year?
I'm riding Ruby, and she's my 4-year-old.
And she's been, I think I heard about Ruby before.
Yeah, I did ground training with her until she was 2. Okay. And then I rode her last year and this year.
So coming up, you probably got one event or two that Ruby likes best, and so do you. What would that be?
I like Western equitation and English.
And English?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, boy, they're a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Now, what one of the things now, and you've been riding, obviously, you've probably been riding since before you were born, yeah. Probably. Uh-huh. I say that about since I think Mom might have been riding when she was pregnant, so that we'll say you were riding before you were born.
I was.
That's it's a little bit of work too.
It is. Yes, definitely.
And getting Ruby ready and everything else, and
she's a lot of work. She's a teenager.
There you go. There you go. Well, we've got a lot of guests to visit with, so who's our next guest?
We have Olivia Olson.
Hi.
Hi, Olivia. Olivia, how many years have you been riding?
I've been riding for, I think, since I was 2.
Okay.
And I've been doing horse 4-H for 6 years now.
6 years?
Yes, I think so.
Who are you riding this year?
This year I'm riding a horse that I'm leasing. He's a barrel horse. So I've only had him for a couple months, so we've been working on this, and it's going to be an interesting fair this year.
Well, does he, when you say a barrel racer, years ago when I rode, once they've got their mind set on certain things, is he a little focused at times?
Yeah.
Well, and you've been getting ready. And this horse is new to you this year. This is not the one you started out on.
Yes, he is new. I just got him at April 1st. So I've had him for a few months, and we've been working. We've been doing a few barrel races, and we've improved a bunch over the course of the time.
You know, and that's kind of interesting that you can lease an animal, good for the animal. He's out working, and maybe it gets you into what you want to do without some of the higher costs.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent, excellent. You got a special, a favorite event happening on?
I have 2.
Okay.
The Western equitation and then the gaming stuff.
Well, I think you might have to ride for gaming.
Yeah.
Great. Well, hey, I think I recognize that next person. Who we got there?
Hi, my name is Maddie Prince.
I could have told you that. How have you been, Maddie? Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
And you've been riding for a while now, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been riding before I was born, like Chloe.
Yep. And have you got let's say, because I've seen you enter some other events throughout the season too, don't you? I see you guys are off doing stuff on a regular basis.
Yes, my horse Lady and I got her 2 years ago. We've been doing 4-H for a while now. I've been doing 4-H for 5 years.
Okay.
But besides that, I do reining and working cow horse.
Nice. So what are you looking forward to on Monday and Tuesday?
I'm looking forward to trail and western equitation.
So trail, now I know you're in the pavilion. How do you do a trail?
So the staff sets up a bunch of different obstacles, like gates and a bridge to walk over and poles to trot over.
Nice. And pretty handy if you're out on a trail ride that you can walk up to a gate and open the gate and not have to get off your horse. Mm-hmm. And they need to know that. Excellent. That makes sense in our part of the world.
Mm-hmm. It's really fun, too.
I bet it is. Well, especially with you out working with the cows or something on the farm, how much nicer if you can have a horse that'll work with you. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Maddie, let's have another guest sit down.
We have Leanne Warner next.
Hi.
Hi, Leanne. And who are you riding?
I'm riding my 17-year-old mare named Acorn.
I'm going to say Acorn has been around the block and knows what to do on Monday.
Yes.
Isn't that nice? One of the best horses I ever had, Topper, was a Tennessee Walker and he was a really nice horse. He was an older animal. He'd been on a horse, a posse, the Clackamas County Mounted Posse. That horse was smarter than me.
Wow,
he could do really interesting things.
Oh, cool.
But anyway, you got a favorite event coming up?
Yes, I'm excited for Western Equitation.
Okay. And Acorn, is she easy to take care of? Well, she's probably used to it. How long have you had her?
I've had her for about 2 years now.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice animal, huh?
Very.
It's important to have an animal that you know will work with you. Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing 4-H?
This will be my second year.
Second year in horses, but are you just in horses or you got some other ones you work on?
I have sheep 4-H also.
Oh, excellent. So you got something in the junior livestock maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to do dog 4-H too, but this year I took a year off.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, so we just got horses and sheep.
Yeah.
Oh, slacker. Nice meeting you. Thanks for stopping by.
So while we're getting our next person seated, I'll just say that we have a pretty exciting thing happening on Monday for all the kids that have committed to riding in performance 4-H this year. Zoe at Two Hats Ranch has orchestrated a really awesome thing for all of the members that are there on Monday. And it's a conglomeration of a bunch of community sponsors that have committed to getting these kids some really awesome prizes to reward them for their hard work. We don't get to sell our animals at the fair and make a bunch of money. We have to take them home and continue to feed them and pay for them and take care of them. And so these buckets are just full, like to the brim, overflowing with gift certificates and items to help these kids take care of their horses all year. So they have to wait until Monday to find out exactly what's in them, but it's going to be awesome. And we're really thankful for all of our community supporters and for Zoe at Two Hats Ranch for putting that together.
Well, and thank you, Zoe, and thank you all the other sponsors, too, because it is huge. I hadn't thought. It's not, you're not getting to sell an animal or something like that. It's a lot of work getting an animal ready, and very nice. And Two Hats Ranch, I think that if someone was interested in learning a little bit more about equitation, that might be a good place to check out. And who have we got next?
We have Sophia Olson.
Hi, Sophia. How's Sophia doing?
Good.
Who are you riding on Monday?
Duke.
Duke. What has Duke got? Have you got a favorite event?
My favorite event is Western Equitation.
Okay. How long have you and Duke been at this?
3 years.
Been about 3 years. Have you ridden other horses besides Duke?
Yes, I have ridden my old horse, Joe.
Joe. Okay. And Duke is Duke? You say older? Is Duke a little younger than Joe was?
Yes, Joe was 22.
Well,
Duke is
yeah.
only 16.
Well, it's a good age. I'm like I said, I mentioned Topper. He was such an amazing animal. Sometimes it seems like they get a little smarter when they get older. I had a 5-year-old Spurs, and he wasn't It was me. It wasn't him.
And I'll interject here one more time and say that Sophia won a really special award last year. It was the Kristen Jacob Memorial Award, and it's a beautiful belt buckle. And that's an award that's in memory of my cousin who passed away about 15 years ago, and she was an awesome rider. And Sophia rides a lot like her.
Sophia, congratulations. See, they're not ringing her own bell. I think that's something to shine to. And Sophia, thank you a lot for stopping by.
And next we have Reese Hopkins.
Hi.
Hi, Reese. Reese, have you been riding very long?
About 2 years.
About 2 years. Have you got a favorite event coming up?
I actually have two. I like showmanship and gaming.
Showmanship. Now, showmanship, tell me what happens during showmanship.
Well, there's a judge, and you basically just lead your horse and do like turns, and you trot them and stuff. So
Yeah.
basically just leading them around.
Sure. And well, no, but to have that, to be able to work with an animal on the ground, that they know what they should do, because it's just you showing that you can work with that animal, and that animal can work with you.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. Have you been in 4-H very long?
This is actually my first year in
Your
4-H.
first year? Okay, so have you got other clubs that you're interested in, or mainly just horses?
I show a market lamb.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Can I interrupt and give a little explanation about showmanship?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so showmanship is our first event on Monday, and it's an event where kids get to show their skills on their groundwork with their animal. It's not a riding event. They'll go through a pattern that the judge provides, and they have to be pretty precise in that pattern. And so it's an on the ground event, so where they're not riding, and they have to show that they have groundwork done with their horse to enable them to do the pattern.
I like that. I like that a lot. Here, who's our next guest?
We have Brennan Blazer.
Hi.
Hi, Brennan. And Brennan, who are you riding?
I'm riding my 20-year-old mare, Chrissy.
Chrissy. I'm going to say, have you been in 4-H very long?
Yeah, I've been 4-H for 5 years.
5 years. So usually, and Chrissy is usually your mount?
Yeah.
Has she or have you guys got a favorite event?
Western equitation.
Okay. Tell me a little bit. Western equitation, what would we expect to see?
Just like, so the judge will give you a pattern to do, and you have to do that pattern the way she wants you to do it, and there'll be rail work to warm your horse up first, like trotting, loping on the rail, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice pavilion. You get to work out in it now. It's so wonderful. And it took a lot of work to get that built. And I think it was the community that made that happen. Mm-hmm. But it's a free event Monday and Tuesday. What time does it start, Natalie?
So
Carrie?
on Monday, it starts around 10. We have a judges meeting at 9.
Okay.
And then the kids will get ready. They'll meet with the judge, and then they get ready. And so showmanship will start around 10 o'clock. And the order is showmanship, then Western equitation, then English equitation, what we call Dad Potter, and that's a series of 10 steps that are very complicated. And we actually just got news that a 4-H'er from Clackamas County just passed her 10-step Dad Potter award. So that was pretty exciting because it doesn't happen often.
Interesting.
And after Dad Potter, then we have trail, and that will round up the day. And then on Tuesday, it starts around 9 o'clock with ground training and driving and in-hand trail, and then we start our gaming events on Tuesday.
And you've got a food cart out there that's safe for some?
So we're going to have this year's SAFE group providing food both days. They'll have breakfast and lunch both days. We're not sure yet if there will actually be a cart, but they will set up and they will have food there.
There'll be food.
Yes, there will be food there. So we're looking forward to them being there as well.
Before we get to our next guest, I'm going to take a quick break. We've got one of today's sponsors is our Tillamook Bay Community College, And, I think you might still have time to sign up for this course. It's going to cover all the material needed to prepare for a remote pilot in command test. You can take the first step to getting certified for commercial drone operations. Anyone operating a drone or UAV for a company, school, or any commercial endeavor is required to have this license. Anyway, it starts on Monday. It's the 15th through the 19th from 5 to 9, and just at the main room upstairs at the college. Call Daryl Spitzer for more information. He's at 842-8222. That's 842-TBCC. If you want to be a drone pilot, it sounds a little silly. That is not a remote pilot. There you go. Anyway, and now, who's our next guest here?
Matthew Averill.
Oh, look, it's Matthew Averill. How you doing, Matthew?
Good.
Hey, Matthew and I, you've been by here more than once. I don't remember the first time, but who you riding this year?
Roxy.
Roxy. How's Roxy doing?
Good.
And easy to work with?
Yeah. She's testing me. She's like my teacher.
Well, that's a good way of putting it, because sometimes I say they're smarter, but it's just a test. Mm-hmm. It's just a test. Does she have or do you have a favorite event?
Well, I have two. So me and her do really good in the showmanship, and then she really likes, and I really like the English equitation.
How is the English equitation different than, say, the Western or something?
So English is like it's more popular these days now. So you have diagonals and you canter, and it's just more sped up than Western, and yeah.
Okay. It is radio, so you can't see the people that disagreed with Matthew.
Okay, I'll be fair.
But and I imagine, Matthew, you pick an event that is your favorite, that your animal works well in, and it is. It just seems like it's smoother, and mm-hmm. That makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. Probably makes sense to them, too.
Yeah.
It's just not their choice.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in 4-H?
I've been in 4-H for 5 years, and it's a really good program, I think, and it helps me grow.
Yeah. Do you have any other clubs that you're involved in?
I do the SNS Goats, and I show goats, and my mom is the leader of it.
Not that makes any difference, but it does sometimes help if you know someone that's involved.
Yeah. And I do Sunday canners, which is food preservation, so we can stuff. And
excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. I know that on with your sheep and that you've got to keep a book. Do you have to keep books for the horse club too?
You don't have to, but I just do it for the...
Our members are actually required to do record books on their horses.
Okay, so it's good that you're doing it that way then. Yeah. Matthew, thanks for stopping by.
You're welcome.
And now, Natalie, back to you. We've got... tell me a little bit more, because this is a free event, and it does make sense that it's this Monday. I was kind of missing that it's Monday and Tuesday out at our fairgrounds.
Yes, it is. It's Monday and Tuesday, and it's absolutely free. So bring your kids or grandparents or just whoever in the community is interested in horses or just supporting these kids. It's really fun for them to have a full audience. And I know that's a little bit more difficult on a Monday and Tuesday because people work. But if there's any chance that you could swing by on your lunch break or, cut out for the afternoon, it's really fun for them to have an audience. And our club and all the members that will be there on Monday and Tuesday have worked really hard this year. But our club especially, I'm proud of them because we do require that they keep record books. Mm-hmm. And that's not an easy thing. It's a lot easier to just go out and ride your horse and have fun. But the record books are an important part of their the whole process of 4-H, and it really helps them, especially when they're in high school and getting ready to graduate, because then all of their activities and accomplishments and community service are literally documented in one place. Wow. And so they keep track of that year round, and they do photo page. So when you're at the actual fair in August, if you go upstairs to the second floor to the 4-H area, all of their record books are there with their awards, and they're on display. So if you're curious about that process, you can look through these kids' record books and see how they did. And also, this club requires that our members give a presentation. Mm-hmm. So that is for the fair, but it was done in April. So each one of these members has given a public presentation, and they can choose to do it on horses or they can do a totally different topic, but they've all been formally judged on a presentation, and so that kind of goes towards their cumulative score for the fair. But those are just two things that Carrie and I agreed are really important. An important process of the whole 4-H and horse experience.
Well, it is, because it's one thing, and Carrie, I appreciate that from you both. Thank you, Natalie, for mentioning that, because that keeping a book, but that record I hadn't thought, and I didn't realize they were available upstairs. So that does make sense that that's part of what they'd be judged on.
And the kids realize how much money is spent to raise an animal and to keep it healthy, and all of the vet bills and all of the shoeing bills and all of that. They get a good understanding of what that costs. And in horses, there's not a whole lot of income. And so they get to see all of that money out. And yes, they get pleasure in riding and all of that, but they get to see the cost of it as well. And True. I think that's important for all the kids.
Well, I think it'd be more fun to budget for a horse than some quad or something like that myself.
I agree.
There might be some out there that don't agree with this, but the care that they take with those animals and having that history, should something say, well, I remember this happened about 3 years ago. You've got all your record keeping, and in the future, how nice to know how to keep records about a project.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. What have we got else going on? Now, Natalie, maybe one of you guys, what if someone wants to get involved? Is there still room to get into? It's a little late this year, but when's a good time to reach out, or maybe other 4-H classes?
So the 4-H year goes from October 1st to September 30th. And there's at the extension office, in the 4-H office, there are a list of clubs that are taking new members. And if someone's interested, they would go into the extension office and talk to them and ask about different clubs, and they can put them in touch with club leaders that are taking new members, or what age group, or what the focus is for them. Because horses aren't for everybody.
Sure.
And but there are lots of projects in 4-H, and so just go in and ask and tell them what you're interested in, and they'll find you a club.
And I've said the same thing. I mean, I'm kind of drawn to the animals, and I think a lot of people are. But when you get upstairs in the main building, I mean, there's the photography and all the art, and the seamstresses, which not much of an artist or a seamstress, but go cows. I mean, and that pavilion has got to be a nice place to work now, isn't it? Didn't it? And I'm going to assume that our 4-H club was kind of involved in the fundraising that helped that happen, weren't they?
Actually, our club wasn't we didn't have members at that point. We weren't leaders at that point when it was built. But when Natalie and I were in 4-H, we helped fundraise, and we helped build the barn that was there before that. Because we used to show in that south arena and use the racehorse barns, and so that was nice when we had actual stalls to have at the fair.
Because you're able to use that pavilion throughout the year, aren't you?
Yes.
Boy, that is just an asset. It's just really wonderful to have. Well, let's see. We got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of birthdays today. Robin Jolly and Bill Bartline, our Commissioner Bartline. Happy birthday, Bill. Nadia Paulison and Vicki Freehill over there at Tillamook Mead. I wonder if Matt's giving her the day off. Probably not. Anyway, tomorrow Stacy's going to be here, and she'll be your host. And she's going to be joined by Michelle Yank and Seth. He's an intern at the health department. Senior meals, noon every weekday at the Kiawanda Community Center in Pacific City, and the Tillamook Senior Center at 4th and Stillwell, as well as, let's say it's Tuesdays and Thursdays at Nehalem Bay Methodist Church. Master Recyclers, Trash to Treasure. That's tomorrow from 10 to noon at the Tillamook Library. Creative craft time for kids 12 and up. Space is limited, so if you want to go turn trash into treasures, you got to sign up today at the library maybe. Sip and Shop downtown Tillamook tomorrow from 5 to 7. That's kind of a fun thing to do, isn't it, Natalie? I think that is a neat idea. Gets people downtown, and it's just a social hour. You don't have to sign up or register or anything like that. Just stop by about 5 and wander around downtown. They got specials and sales and everything going on. And Saturday, it's the annual Mutt Strut and a cause for paws to support our animal shelters. Saturday, that, like I said, at Goodspeed Park, and it's the 5th annual Mutt Strut from 10 to 2. And let's see, fun for the whole family, local vendors and all that. They've raised over $50,000 in the last 4 years for our animal shelters. I think that's just wonderful. Also on Saturday, there's the cornhole and Battle of the Bowls. It's a cornhole tournament. I tried that a couple of times, and I'm less lethal than I am with horseshoes, by far. So that's Saturday. I think the registration starts about 11:30 out there at Alderbrook Hall, and then there's the Battle of the Bowls. There's a chili cook-off, and all of this is to benefit Providence Cancer Center. And you're going to find some information. Look for the charity cornhole and the charity Battle of the Bowls on Facebook, and you can find out more right there. Oops, and regulated burning. We know fire season is here. I know in Bay City, regulated closure on burning starts on Monday, the 15th, and that means no more open piles, and I think burning barrels is going to be the first. I wouldn't be surprised. It's going to be a bad year, so we need to pay attention out there. Let's see, what else? Have we got anything else going on? Oh, well, farmers markets. Tomorrow we've got Manzanita from 5 to 8, and Saturday down at Nescowan from 9 to 1, and our Tillamook Farmers Market here from 9 to 2, and Pacific City on Sunday from 10 to 2, and the horse fair on Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to make it by, at least for a little bit. I thought that seems like a great place to spend a little bit of time during the lunch hour. Everybody's welcome. Plenty of parking. Good. And thank you guys all for stopping by. That was a lot of fun. I had a bunch of them in here. And thank you, Tillamook.